What's going on, everybody? Glad you're back. We have some key games coming up. Go ahead and hit that like button if you guys like this series. Building the Miami Hurricanes Hoops Dynasty. And we go ahead and get the win over Louisville. This is a good one because this is exactly who we're competing against right now in the standings. So we get this good win on the road. Very happy about that. And as you guys know, if you've been following along, we had that key injury to our center, Nyseer Brooks, our starting center, defensive center, good rebounder, block shots, senior, torn Achilles, so he's out. So what we did was we go that 4-guard lineup. This is a good look at it. Still paying attention to it, though. I'm not exactly sure, not necessarily 4-guard because Earl Timberlake is a small forward, but we move him to the 4 at 6'6". So I'm always monitoring how he's doing. Not a lot of production here, and I'm a little worried because he's our freshman that we're trying to build the program around moving forward. So we have a good senior class. Chris Likes and Cameron McGusty have been leading us, but I'm a little concerned with Timberlake. I still need to figure out exactly what I want to do with the lineups. But it's tough also because we are winning games. We are doing well, and you hate to sacrifice just all the success too. So it's just something to always monitor here. Ranked 17th in the country. First part of February. I want to see how Earl's been doing the last few games. His scoring average, and it's also a little bit difficult because a lot of these have been in the ACC, so his numbers come down somewhat there too. And just taking a look at where we were ranked in the team. Our points per game, 7th in the country. That's good. We play an up-tempo offense, so that's good to see. I like that we're rebounding the ball. A lot of that had to do with Nyseer Brooks. So I don't want to get ahead of myself with that because that number can come down now, especially that we're playing a little bit more of a smaller ball. It's not my preference, and it's not something we're going to do moving forward. We have better depth coming in with our recruits. And you see in the standings, we're doing well. Also, get a big win against North Carolina, another ranked team, another prominent program in the ACC. I'm going to play a game against Duke a little bit later and see how that goes. They're leading the conference, so that's going to be a big one. But this is always big for Miami if they can get this win against North Carolina. Prominent program who struggled last season. But you see they're in the top 25 this year. We've been playing pretty well at home. Timberlake in double figures, that's good. McGusty, I feel like McGusty's been doing well making that transition to the 3. And Isaiah Wong has stepped up as well, getting that starting nod. He was the big one that I wanted to get going with his development. But as quickly as things are going well with 2 big wins against ranked teams, we go on the road at Syracuse and have a tough loss, and the team looks terrible. The 61 points, very low for us. Matt Cross comes off the bench and hits 4 threes. Not surprising against Syracuse's zone defense. It's just we didn't get anything going. Chris Likes struggled. Isaiah Wong was doing well but had a tough game there. Earl Timberlake shut down. So here we go. A big game against Duke. They're leading the conference. We're a couple games out. We've got to win this game. It's 20-game ACC schedule. We're 2 games out. A loss here would essentially be pretty devastating if we're trying to win the ACC. They've got a really good team. This is their real rosters. You see Jeremy Roach, DJ Stewart, Wendell Moore Jr., Jalen Johnson, highly regarded recruit, and Henry Coleman III as their starting lineup. And this is also going to be tough because it's on the road. They've got a very nice team, very balanced. Wendell Moore Jr. is actually leading them in scoring, one of the top players in the conference. And it's not surprising given that if you guys watched Duke last season. And, you know, he showed a lot of positive signs in spots when he got more minutes as the season went on. More playing time, things like that. And that's understandable for young players. And that's what you want to see. You want to see young guys progress throughout the season. That's why I'm a little worried with Timberlake. And maybe, you know, drop in the comments if you guys think I should go to more traditional lineup, put Timberlake back at the 3, and just take it for what it is. And I would change the offensive philosophy. I am kind of leaning towards that. Kind of going back to that. Although it was good to get Isaiah Wong these minutes. We'll just kind of see how this game goes. again, and the way this works with these games is I'm not stepping in and coaching this game. I set all my minutes and things like that and just let it play out the way it plays out. And if you guys are playing this game, you can see at the top of the screen, you can do the subs and the coaching, and you can do that every game, but I tend to watch some of these and see how it goes. So this is definitely a big one. And also, real quick, we're going to jump in with Rylan later on, catch up with him, see how he's doing with his squad. Season's winding down as we get close to the ACC tournament. That's always a lot of fun. When I get there, I definitely want to share my experience from covering the ACC tournament in 2013, but I'm looking right now, so some things are jumping out at me. Struggling scoring, obviously, not big numbers there, down by a lot, but our defense is not looking very good here. 14 points given up in the first 5 minutes of the game. And that's not been a focal point for this team, for this year's team. And it's not my overall philosophy, kind of how I believe in the game and things like that. So I kind of want to make some adjustments with that moving forward. My plan was to have a good offensive style this year with the guys we had coming back, and based on their rate, I didn't want to worry too much about getting the seniors good at defense, if that makes sense. And I say that because you can only focus so much time on both sides of the court. So I just decided to go a little bit more offensive. But as I'm watching here against this Duke game, we're really struggling stopping them. Hopefully things get turned around here. Matt Cross, one of our other freshmen. That was good to have that. He had that individual game against Syracuse, even though we lost. And we also had wins over Clemson and Wake Forest in there that I didn't show you guys, but we are getting some wins. Again, 12-4 in conference. But windy down here with that 20-game schedule, so just a few games left. Just struggling here a little bit, but again, down the stretch of the season, I'm open to making some adjustments. It's been an enjoyable season. Team's done well, and these are some key games coming up as we get ready for the NCAA tournament. I'd like to make a nice run. As you guys know, Miami's only advanced to the Sweet 16 in their history of their program. That's as far as they've ever gotten. I would like to be able to get this team. That's my goal with this program, with this dynasty I'm working on here. I'd like to get Miami past the Sweet 16 at some point. That's my goal, and I'd like to be able to deliver Miami's first Final Four appearance at some point. Got a good recruiting class coming in. I like this year's team, but as you can see here, we're struggling against a good team in Duke. I don't know if this year's team is a Final Four team. We did have those wins against ranked teams, against Louisville, North Carolina. It gives me some positivity in the sense that, we had struggled against good teams at one point. I do think the loss to Nyseer Brooks is difficult. But like I said, I'm thinking about going back to more of a traditional 1 through 5, assigned positions, so to speak. The power forward center combo at the 4-5 instead of going Timberlake. And I'd like to be able to get Timberlake going offensively a little bit better. It's just tough sometimes, especially when you play a team like Duke right here. Jalen Johnson, 6'9" power forward. That's a difficult matchup. When I initially made the move, I was looking at the scouting reports. We were going against teams that were also playing some smaller guys at the 4 spot. But I do believe if we ever want to get to a Final Four, If we ever want to get past the Sweet 16 looking ahead, if we ever want to win another ACC title, I think you've got to have that balance there. It's going to be very tricky to try to build a team, I think, without that true center in the sense, or two post guys. I guess that's more of what I'm talking about. And we could go with that next year. We've got two really good freshmen, 2 top 60 recruits, and coming in, power forwards as well. So we could go both those guys. They're both like 6'8". So we'll see. And I wasn't expecting us to pull off this win. I knew it was going to be difficult, but we're hanging in there. We got within 9. If we can make a few threes and kind of get into this, we need our defense to tighten up here. Wendell Moore's got 12 points. And that's, yeah, man, he's really doing well. And another, shout out real quick. Shout out to the Duke fans. If you're jumping in here, you saw Duke was in the game. You want to see how your freshmen are looking. Everyone's doing very well. They have another talented freshman class coming in. Of their starting 5, Jeremy Roach, Stewart. Those are top level recruits. I mentioned Jalen Johnson earlier. Moore's a sophomore. And then Coleman's another freshman. And that's kind of what I think they have a shot of going with as their starting 5. Matthew Hurt, obviously returning for another year. Didn't have quite the consistent impact he was hoping for as a freshman. And maybe that's a move. Maybe they leave him. Maybe they start him at the 5, but Jalen's definitely going to be in there. And this game got away from us in a hurry. My goodness, we're down by 22. This is crushing. It was within 9. I felt good. Well, I wouldn't say I felt good because they were scoring at a high level. And typically when their better players are doing well, like Moore was doing, when you're not shutting that down, teams essentially doing whatever they want, and combined with playing at Duke. I wasn't feeling great, but with it 9 points, our team's played pretty well. But this has been a struggle for sure. 51-28. Really disappointing. I was already a little hesitant. You hear me talking, considering making some changes with the team. And this has given me a little bit more indication of maybe that's the way to go. And certainly focusing more on defense, especially down the stretch. I don't think it would hurt. Because as it stands, we look like a tournament team and those things right now, but I don't want that to be the only goal. It'd be great for Miami to return to the tournament. But with the season we've had, I'd like for them. We've got to go ahead and play better than this. And this is the type of team, as we get moving into the season, into the season against key games and key teams here. Down by 22, just not getting anything going. Likes struggling scoring the ball, and it makes things really tough for us when our leading scorers with Likes and McGusty aren't having huge games. And Moore's already got a double-double. If you guys are watching this and have comments, maybe some philosophies that you'd like to see happen, go ahead and drop in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what you think. But I'm thinking, so we made the change to go to more of a 5-out offense. So I would go back to a little bit more post play, even though they're not top scorers, but maybe I get some more post play. I'd put Rodney Miller in at center. Would be an option. I'd put Dane Gak back at the 4, or maybe it's time to move Sam Wardenberg into the starting lineup at the 4, Gak at the 5. That's an option. Or we can go Anthony Walker, give him some more minutes as a young guy, a sophomore, and we could move along with him. But this just isn't going the way we would have liked. But you know what? That's the thing about the regular season. It'd been great to get a win here, which just doesn't look like it's going to happen. Although, who knows? Maybe we get hot from 3. We start locking up a little bit more on defense. We can pull this out. The quicker you can get to 10 points, the better off you'll have a chance at pulling off a comeback against a top team. So we'll just see how it goes. But I just definitely want to think about these philosophy. So I would do that with zone. I decided to play a little bit more zone, just to kind of protect Timberlake at the 4 a little bit. I was doing just a little bit of percent of the time at a 1-3-1 zone, but I decided to back that down to a 2-3. Flatten it out a little bit. Doesn't put as much pressure on Gak as a lone man back. So I go 2-3, essentially trying to extend out, guard the 3-point line a little bit better. But now, I'm thinking, and that's not a huge adjustment, but I would like to play a little bit less zone if I do make this move. And I feel like you can man up a little bit more. Although some of our players aren't great individual defenders. Still down by a bunch of points. DJ Stewart's having a really good game. He's a nice shooting guard. You guys should check him out. It's going to be fun to watch and see how he develops in the ACC. So those are some of the things I'm thinking about. I'm still thinking like some Auguste Timberlake in the first 3. And Jalen's dealing with some foul trouble. That's why you don't see a lot of points from him. And I'd move Wong back to the bench. Again, it's been a little hot and cold with Isaiah. He has had a lot of performance. I'm not going to lie. He did have some good performances this year, moving him into that starting lineup, which was good to see because he just wasn't producing at the level I thought he would have off the bench here. You guys see Elijah Olini get in there, and he's obviously not expected to play this season. I'm not sure why he popped in there because he's not played all year. Unfortunately, with this game, you're not able to redshirt upperclassmen. Okay, here we go. 13 points, 7.5 to go. This is a big spot for us here. If we can pull this comeback off, going to need to make some plays down the stretch, hit some shots. I think outside shots would be big, but they're just stretching it out. And I'm looking right here at Wendell Moore Jr. having an incredible game, having a triple-double. And that's going to be scary. If he has that kind of production for Duke this upcoming season, they're going to be really good because all the other pieces look pretty good with those freshmen coming in. So if he can kind of take that lead role. Wendell's also that kind of a big body, small forward, kind of racks up steals as well, defensive player. Still working on that outside shot, but man, our comeback hopes got erased in a hurry. It felt like as soon as we noticed we got within 13, it felt like Duke just put on this burst once again. Another difficult struggle. I just don't see this coming back, so I definitely need to think about this. I wish we were more competitive in this big game, but it at least allows us to kind of reset our team a little bit in these final few games of the regular season. This is definitely a wake-up call that we needed, but it's also just a way to see where we're at as we move forward. And this is another thing with DJ Stewart. Again, that 2 guard, that's where Wong has been playing. So maybe defensively, and Beverly steps in too. But maybe we're just not as good as we need to be defensively at that 2 spot as well as the 4. So it's not just about the offense. Really struggled with our defense in a big game. So I definitely want to make some adjustments. Whether it's the starting 5, but no doubt I need to stress the defense during practice sessions. I want to set that up. So there we go. That's the final. We took a loss, 99-84 at Duke. They're a very good team. It essentially locks us out of the ACC championship, the ACC title. It's not officially out, but Duke would have to lose their last 3, and we'd have to win our last 3. We do play Duke again, and we're going to need to regroup. Hey, Rylan, how's it going? I see your team's doing okay, and then a couple losses. How do you think things are going right here as we get down to the final few games here?
Oh, what's up, Chris? Yeah, so far, I think last time we talked, my whole hope and goal was that we'd win all of our home games and, maybe win one of our road games, but hopefully, not lose all of them. Well, so far, we've won all our home games and lost all our road games. So we're still holding on to that only team in the ACC that hasn't lost at home, but our road woes continue big time.
Yeah, what's going on there at Cassell Coliseum there? Like, what do you guys got going on? Why is it such a tough place to play?
When you come to Blacksburg, you just got to be ready for the noise. I mean, that's how it is. Hokies get wild, and that's what we're building on. We're building on that environment. That 9,000, 9,800 capacity crowd just gets wild.
So the way I was kind of looking at your team about kind of on the bubble, we got a few games left, but what kind of needs to happen, or where are you guys at, you think, as you go down this key stretch of games here?
I think, I'm right on the bubble. I'm pretty much, a team or 2 away from not making the tournament. So a nice upset win would make me, one of those quality wins would be nice. I've got an at Duke and a home against Louisville still to go. At Duke's a tall task considering my team's been terrible on the road, but undefeated at home this year. Maybe we can get that upset of the Cardinals, and then we finish out the season against Notre Dame. That's also at home, so definitely need to beat that Notre Dame team. Maybe get that one against Louisville would be. I think if we beat Louisville, then that we would be in. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It may come down to the ACC tournament.
So well, good man. Yeah, just checking in. And, best of luck for these 3 games coming up, man. I'm excited. We're getting down to the end of the season, but then we got tournament play and wherever tournaments we get to postseason. So, yeah, hopefully you finish strong.
Sounds good.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, dude. Later.
So I just want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Check out all your coverage of the Miami Hurricanes on InsideTheU.com. You can find me on Twitter at InsideTheU.